Today I want to talk about an important type of reaction that occurs in living organisms. Redox reactions are any chemical reaction that involves the movement of electrons. If we think about the human body, how do nerves send messages to the brain? Electrical impulses send messages to the brain. Electrical impulses are the result of a movement of electrons, or, in other words, redox reactions. What causes the heart to beat? An electrical impulse generated through redox reactions. On the screen I have an unbalanced reaction for the synthesis of sodium chloride from solid sodium metal and chlorine gas. We will see that the sodium and chlorine both contain an equal number of electrons and protons if we look at the pictorial at the bottom. They have no net charge. During the chemical reaction, sodium loses one electron to become the cation with a positive 1 charge. Chlorine gains that 1 electron to become chloride with a negative 1 charge. During the reaction, electrons move from the sodium to the chlorine. I have shown a red arrow in the chemical equation to represent the flow of electrons. If we balance the equation, we need to put a 2 in front of the sodium and a 2 in front of the sodium chloride. We also need to put a 2 in front of the E negative. In the production of sodium chloride, 1 electron is transferred for each molecule of sodium chloride produced. Let us talk about a few terms related to redox reactions. The sodium undergoes oxidation because it loses electrons. The chlorine undergoes reduction because it gains electrons. An easy acronym to remember the process is oil-rig. Oxidation is loss of electrons. Reduction is gaining of electrons. All metal elements are neutral. Metals are charged when they are part of ionic compounds. Therefore, any reaction involving a metal element is a redox reaction. Additionally, any reaction involving molecular oxygen is a redox reaction. Remember from Chapter 3, we learned that the charge of a transition metal affects the color. The color of our blood comes from the iron in hemoglobin. The binding of oxygen to hemoglobin is a redox reaction. The charge of the iron changes, which changes the color of the blood. To help clarify everything, let me split apart the reaction of sodium and chlorine. I am going to write down the oxidation process. In the oxidation process, sodium metal atoms lose 1 electron to make 2 sodium cations and 2 electrons. In turn, those 2 electrons are absorbed by the chlorine atoms to make chloride ions. This process is called reduction. Notice that the number of electrons on the product side of the oxidation reaction equals the number of electrons on the reactant side of the reduction reaction.